Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Luke Man, and today we're gonna go over some synchronization tactics for your hands. And it's a big thing. A lot of guitar players talk about. They say, "Man, I want to play guitar, but just syncing up the two of these hands is a real struggle." And it's understandable because a lot of people don't realize that you have to train one hand and then you have to train the other. A lot of people are trying to train them both together. So real quick, I should mention that I have a free course particularly on this in the style of alternate picking, and it's called Alternate Picking Mastery. And I highly recommend checking out that free course because it's free. There's a link in the description below. And I've taken the time, it's in like an hour-long free course where I go in detail all the little pitfalls that people fall into when it comes to syncing up their hands, when it comes to alternate picking at a really fast pace. And I work with other people, I do this day in and day out with my online guitar school, premium guitar coaching. I have a lot of experience with this. So yeah, if you want those insights for free, click that link in the description. All right, but let's get into it. So the first thing is, it mostly happens with the left hand. So let's take, like, for instance, a G major scale. If you don't know your G major scale, you got bigger problems. All right, so be sure to learn that real quick. Well, I'm gonna start at the 3rd fret of the E string. Okay, if you don't know your G major scale, but you do know another major scale, you just use that one. But can you just trip up the scale? Just hammer-ons at a time. Hammer-ons one note at a time. Alright, so when I do this, I like to pick the first note of each new string, but then besides that, I'm doing all hammer-ons or pull-offs. And I say or pull-offs because we should do it down as well. And the thing is, maybe that's not the lick you're playing. Maybe the lick that you're playing is a little bit different. Perhaps it's something along the lines of this. And you're trying to pick all these notes. And you're saying, like, oh, well, my right hand's not fast enough. And I'm saying, bull scheisen. Okay, because your left hand can't quite do it yet. That would be my guess based off of a lot of experience, So when it comes to building up that left hand, I recommend throwing on some background noise. Maybe it's a show, something you don't want to get too involved in necessarily because we are trying to play guitar, but maybe it's just a drone. And you can use an acoustic guitar to build strength, just to supplement your practice. That's going to be quite helpful. And you can use an electric guitar unplugged, and you really want to rip and tear and just focus on volume, I'm going to do this right now. Not use my amp, but rather this little microphone, and try to show you the difference here between in volume. If I'm really trying to use my hand as not only a hammer but also as a pick, each note I'm ripping, tearing away. I'm literally picking the note with my finger, I really want to get that strong sound, and then you can work this up with the click as well, but it's important just to get the strength, So if I do that, then I should also focus on just the right hand too, And so the lick I was using earlier, so it's one note on the B string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 notes on the E string. Can you do that nice and easily? Well, you should check. Because if you're thinking that you're going to play both of these hands together, you should be able to do it with your right hand. Sounds like Mario. It's a me! right, so what I'm doing there is I was switching through, just using the legato, or basically what I like to call, I don't know if I have a term for it, to be honest, but basically just picking the first note of each new string, you know, and then also picking just your right hand and then doing both together. And I like to throw in that harmonic because it just kind of lets me know like where I'm at in the rotation of picking one note on the B string and then 5 notes on the E string. So yeah, that would be a sextuplet altogether. Okay, and then once we have these basics, I like to start a rotation where we're doing one, then the other, and then the other, you know. And if you're having a hard time with this, by the way, I actually just put together a forum so you could sign up for premium guitar coaching. Usually I'm just kind of picking and choosing people through my Instagram that I think would be a good fit, but I put together a survey to kind of weed out who I don't think is gonna make the cut, but you can apply for it. There's a link for that in the description below. If you've already tried some of my videos and you're saying, well, maybe I need a little more personal touch here, you know, yeah, you could definitely check that out. But it's a good vibe. It's a good vibe on those calls, you know, so I want to keep it that way. So that's why, yeah, you know, if you're watching this, you're a cool person, then it's all good. Also, if you have a job, that's going to be helpful too. Okay, so we're going to go one of each of these 3 variations. Okay, so that's going to be just the right hand, only picking the first note of each new string, and then using legato, hammer-on, or pull-off technique. And then we're going to do both of them together. So. Alright, usually we'll do this with the click, and we'll have very short intervals of actual playing. So, and you get like a little break in between. You get a couple clicks where you're not necessarily doing anything, so it's a little easier to do it back to back. So it'll be like this. Yeah, I actually recommend playing along with me. So if it's not obvious what I'm playing, I start on the 8th fret of the B string, and then I play the 5th, 7th, and then 8th fret of the E string, go back down, 7th, 5th fret of the E string to the 8th fret of the B string. Alright, well, do it with me for a second here. Okay, that's the idea, and then obviously we want to make it faster as soon as possible. Alright, as I said earlier, my name's Luke, man. If you want a little free course, alternate picking mastery, you can check that out in the description below. If you're ready for a little more hands-on approach, you can fill out a survey to apply for premium guitar coaching. And if you'd like to see me on your feed more, I recommend commenting, and or subscribing. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.